Hey everybody, this is Toby with Global Integrity Finance. We're here again today at the Quest Trust Expo 2019 in Houston. And today we're with Gene with Residential Assisted Living, right?
Absolutely.
Gene, tell us who you are, what you do, and tell us about Residential Assisted Living and what's so unique about it.
You know, I really appreciate meeting you, first of all, because we've been watching each other, seeing each other at different events, but you came out and had a little presentation that I did, so that was helpful. So what we do is we take single-family homes and convert them into assisted living homes. There's a lot of people that need help. They can't live at home by themselves. They need to have some assistance, and they don't want to go to a big box facility, which feels institutional.
Like a dormitory setting.
Like a dormitory. We call it the big box, the Brookdales, the Sunrise, the Atria.
Yeah.
But what we do is we take a single-family home and convert it. So it's a very profitable business model. But what I love about what we're doing is we're really helping people. We call it doing good and doing well.
Nice. So one of the things I saw you speak yesterday that I really never realized, watched the show a few times, but not a bunch, but the Golden Girls. Mm-hmm. And here was a great example back in the 70s where four older ladies didn't want to get put into an institutional housing event, but went and got individual rooms and became best friends and lived a life together on the show. And you kind of taken that model and made it real.
Well, it's that model, but beyond that, because that model is called co-housing. So co-housing is where they live together, take care of each other, but eventually some of them may need more help where they really can't just be, let's hang out as friends, let's be community, but we really do need assistance. But we don't need a nursing home. So what we do is not a nursing home, but it's not the Golden Girls, it's literally right in between. But that co-housing model is something else that is a great model as well that we're working with. But we take that person who's not ready for a nursing home but can't take care of themselves at home. Their family loves them dearly, but they can't give up the job and not watch their own kids to take care of mom and dad. So it's that in-between solution. We also focus on the private pay versus the Medicare and Medicaid, so we're not doing low end, we do high end in nice homes. So one of the parts of what we do is we're dealing with better homes, better areas with a higher paying clientele. We're paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month each, and there may be 10 of those seniors in the home. So the revenue that's generated, if it's 50 grand, you may net maybe 15 grand out of that at the end of each month. So a monthly income from a single family home of 10, 15, 20,000 is very significant. So from a private lending standpoint, an investor standpoint, the rates of return can be huge. You can do it very hands-off, which is what I do, and I teach my students how to do, but you can be right in the business or you can be very hands-off. I choose to be very hands-off. That's what I like on the niche itself. We're really helping people, providing a great solution, but you don't have to get sucked into it.
So these are elderly people in a house. Things are going to break. And part of this setting, do you have maintenance crews that are ready to go in, fix the hot water heater, fix the HVAC system, fix an outlet, all that stuff, or how does that work in that agreement?
Absolutely, but it's really two parts. There's the real estate part and then there's the business part. So let's just say you want to play the real estate part where you own the real estate.
I own the house.
You lease it to that operator. That operator is probably going to be responsible to take care of a lot of those smalls. But that real estate owner could also have a home warranty policy to take care of the big things, HVAC, hot water, and so on. But as a business owner, and I own the real estate as well in an entity, and I own the business over here in an entity, I lease it from myself. We do take care of all of that because we're part of it.
And so something you said yesterday was a lot of these are set up with a full-time cook, so they've got somebody always preparing the meals for them. Also, you have nursing in and out facilities and all that. So how does that, I mean, who orchestrates and manages it? The business entity?
The business, the business entity. So if you're
it's a turnkey over there.
If you're doing the real estate over here, you're not concerned at all with that. You're leasing the house instead of for $2,000 a month, you might lease it to them for $4,000 a month because they're going to be able to pay that because they're generating huge income. But you as the real estate investor over here, you bought a house, you're leasing it to, you are not really concerned with their business at all. On the business side, which is what I do and teach others how to do as well, that right here has all the moving parts of food preparation, the caregivers, not medical, but caregivers that are trained properly in the state, and getting the residents, taking care of that relationship with the family and so on. That business itself, that's where you can make that very huge 20-30% cap rates, 15,000, 20,000 each month from a single family home. But the real estate, just think twice the market rent with a 5-year lease.
Gotcha.
That would be
so I just go buy the property and then lease it over to you, and then I'm done.
with one caveat. I
Okay.
don't want anybody to think I'm just going to buy a property and find them.
Yeah.
What you really want to do is find that tenant first. That tenant is the operator of the
That needs
residential.
property.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then say to them, where do you want this house?
Gotcha.
And they're going to say, well, here's the community, here's the neighborhood,
Here's
the
where
kind of
my
house.
demand is.
Yep.
So go find me a house in that area.
Exactly. And if
Okay.
you do it that way, you're fine. But if
Okay.
you do it the other way, let me buy a house and find, that'll be a hard,
Yeah, because
don't do that.
because he may not have any clients to put into that house,
Or
and so it's just sitting
wrong
vacant.
location, and location is really critical.
Okay, and when you talk about location, talk about that. What do you mean by how critical it is?
Demographics are really the key because this is not about mountaintop and oceanfront. This is about who lives in that area. So let's
Okay.
say you and I are brothers and we're of an age where our parents are 80, 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We're really the client because we're the ones who are going to pick the home for mom or dad to live in.
Only
We're the
one
ones who are really
close.
going to pay the
Yeah.
bill for her. But mom or dad, our parents might be 80 or 90, so that is kind of your prime clientele.
Right.
These people who are there are not golden girls in their 70s. These
Yeah.
are typically 80s and above, some below, but in their 80s they need help or otherwise they'd stay at home.
Gotcha.
They're not there because it's a country club or it's a nice place to stay. They need assistance but not medical assistance. So for all those reasons, it's a really good niche to be in right now. Talking demographically, where you're looking to be in the location is where there's a lot of people who are upper middle income.
Okay.
So not low income, not the top of the top, cream of the crop, but up here, they have plenty of money to pay for mom and dad's care. Mom and dad probably have a house that can be liquidated to pay for their care, IRAs, pension plans, all of that.
Whatever. Yeah.
We don't want to deal with Medicare and Medicaid, which is
Now
kind
you're
of like
getting a low
Section 8.
clientele. Yeah.
We have a bed. We could either charge $2,000 or $6,000. I'd rather charge $6,000.
Gotcha.
The person's going to get the same level of help, but I really can make a lot of money and do well with
Gotcha.
$6,000.
Makes sense. So you're looking for that echelon of the baby boomers that are now ready to.
Well, their parents are of age.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah,
they can't. They want to go on a cruise.
They
want to go play
They don't
golf.
want to be babysitting anymore.
Right.
Right.
And I
Perfect.
don't mean to see that in a bad way. The point
But
is,
it's
just-
reality.
Yeah, they weren't designed to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
There's a real need, and I think a lot of people listening right now understand that because their own parent. My mom. That's the why. You asked at the beginning, how did I get into this? My mom needed help,
Really?
and when I realized that mom needed help, and we could not find what we were looking for, we
Yeah.
didn't want to move her into a hotel. The caregivers really couldn't care less.
Right.
We wanted
They're doing
home.
a job. They're
Yeah.
just there, whatever. Yeah.
So we decided to create that environment and a home that I'd be proud to have my own mother in. And I
Right.
knew if I did, others would want it. They did, they filled it. People immediately asked me to teach them how to. I'm a teacher by nature, so that's
Right.
what we started doing. So
Outstanding.
we own and operate, we train people how to. We also have an investment opportunity for people as well.
Great. So something else you talked about yesterday was the statistics. Talk about that a little bit. You had these charts that how it's changing drastically.
I think the one you're talking about is that 1960 to
Yeah.
2060.
Yes.
I love that chart
Yes.
because, if you're looking at a chart, it kind of goes up like this. And
Right.
at the top in 1960,
small amount.
not many people were, 75 and above.
Right.
But flash forward 100 years where we're headed, the projections of. Because
Next 40 years.
Yeah, not far at all. This chart, instead of going like this with a few people up here, it's more like this with
With a
this
big-
massive bubble
massive
of
bubble.
millions of people that need this help. So I talk about the silver tsunami and the baby boomers.
Yeah.
I'm one, I'm assuming you are.
Right below it.
All right below, good for you. So with the baby boomers coming, though, they're 10 years away from being in assisted living.
Right.
But as they march closer and closer, boom, when they hit the shore, it's a massive crisis because millions of people are going to need that additional
And
help.
there's not going to be anything available.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why you see a lot of these big box facilities being built now.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is to fill the need now. Part of it is because this wave is coming and they want to be prepared. But there is no room in the inn right now. There's
Right.
1 million beds. There's 1,000,004 turning 85 every year.
That's what the other thing I was going to ask you. You had some statistics.
Yeah.
So 1,000,004 every year turning 85.
Yeah.
And then you had it broke down to 1,000 a day. Is that
Well,
what-
4,000 a day.
4,000
4,000 a day are turning 85.
I did listen. Don't get me wrong. I
Oh,
did
you did
listen.
great. You did great because I had to go so fast. But it's not like every 85-year-old moves into assisted living.
Right.
Let's make sure. My grandmother lived to
But if
104,
10%
stayed
did.
at home. Exactly.
That's 400 a day.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And that's the U.S. numbers. That's
Yeah.
the other part of this is when we say the baby boomers, that phenomenon is worldwide.
Right.
It was a world war, not a U.S.
Right,
war.
right.
So this is literally an opportunity, and I've been into Panama, Belize, all kinds of other countries where they need this help too. So if somebody wants to invest or participate internationally, there's that opportunity as well.
Nice, outstanding. So as you're seeing this grow and growth, what do you see as a pitfall? There's got to be a negative, Gene. I mean, there's always an outside and a downside. So let's talk about the downside a little bit.
Yeah, and this has been well documented that one of the biggest needs and crises in our future economy is the need for people that can give care.
Okay.
Because there's, first of all, our economy's going great right now, which means low unemployment, which means there's not a lot of people available for
Right, they're getting higher paid and they're holding out for better jobs.
But it's a different person. When I got a cup of coffee today, that person behind the counter would not be a caregiver, and a caregiver would not be a barista at Starbucks. So it's, but there's not the caregiver crisis. That's going to be a big issue.
That's going to be your downside.
And we can't replace that completely. AI, artificial intelligence, mechanically, and so on. There's all kinds of inventions and things that are coming up that will. But still, human care is human care. So that's your biggest issue in the whole situation.
Is getting enough people to manage those facilities to that caregiver level. That
not manage, because we're teaching them how to do that. It's the caregivers themselves.
That's right, but you got to be able to coach them, manage, and hire them, and make sure that they're doing the right. They're not just filling the spot.
Yeah.
That they're actually doing it because they care. And that's the key word, caregiver. Yeah. Not just health provider, but a caregiver.
Yeah, and that's the part that people don't realize. They look at a big building, let's say, again, the bigger companies of Brookdale and so on, where they have a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful facility. It's the humans that are taking care of them on the count.
Right.
And if they're treated like a nameless, faceless corporation,
and we hear those stories all the time.
Yeah, and you hear it from the big box, not from the small.
Right, and that's the anxiety or the stereotype that's thrown into this.
It is.
Well, I sent my grandmother to this place and they treated her like crap.
Yeah.
And so I think if we can get that message out, that this is a more hands-on, a smaller scale, just multiple settings, that gives that more touch that we need for our parents, grandparents.
You like numbers, so I'll give you this one. In our homes, the ratio is 5-to-1, so 5 residents for 1 caregiver. In a big box facility, it could be 15, 20.
25,
in
30.
The evening, it could be 30, 40, or 50 to 1 caregiver. There's no way they can provide the level of care that we can on the smaller level. Some people call it boutique assisted living. We call it residential assisted living. It's called different things in different states and different countries.
But both of them set that apart and give it a better class.
Absolutely.
I like it. Residential and boutique. I like those terminologies. What else is going on in this residential assisted living, Gene?
Well, my goodness, I just got back from a investment get-together.
It was over a cruise.
Well, actually, the one that I'm talking about is I was in Seattle at Microsoft office.
Oh, that's right.
500 investors, family offices there representing literally billions of dollars and all kinds of things being presented. But when I talk about assisted living in a residential setting, the ears peak up. There's a lot of interest in this topic. So anyway, I own and invest, and I invest in other people's projects as well. We have an investment arm. We also have a national association for this entire industry that we formed. We do our national convention. Our 3rd annual is coming up this first weekend in October.
Really?
And that's a great place for anybody who's either in the industry or thinking about, whether they're owner, operator, investor, curious, to come and meet hundreds of players in the industry.
Where's that going to be?
It's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's October 4 and 5.
Okay.
And we've got some great guests. We have Harry S. Dent coming, the New York Times bestseller, The Demographic Myth.
Yeah.
We've got Dr. Bill Thomas, who is the founder of Eden Alternatives and the Greenhouse Project. In the industry, you know what that means, but that's big stuff. We've got Jonathan Goldsmith, the most interesting man in the world from Dos Equis Beer, coming. He's a great guy. We've become good friends.
Love that guy.
We're just about to nail down having another large name which starts with an R and ends with Kiyosaki. But we're just pinning down the details.
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Yeah, nice. Outstanding. Well, Gene, it's been an honor and a pleasure to visit with you, to know you, and I guarantee you we'll be doing business.
I love it.
Hey, everybody. Gene, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a website that they can go to get a lot of great free information, RAL101.com.
Okay, RAL101.com.
Yeah.
And then a phone number?
A phone number, 480-704-3065.
Perfect. Reach out to Gene or Global if you have any questions. Gene, again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's been my honor.